Should accountants send out email newsletters? It's another question that came in for the video per day challenge. And if you know me, my answer won't surprise you. Yes, every tax professional could benefit from having an email newsletter. I shouldn't say every. I believe almost every tax professional, and I don't know which ones wouldn't, but probably almost every tax professional would benefit from an email newsletter. This is a two-part question, though. The first part was, should we send one? The second one was, how should we do it? So I'm going to tell you frequency, but first I want to differentiate a few things. I think there are probably 3 distinct levels in this game. And you have to pick where you want to be depending on what your goals are and what your capabilities are, because there's no point in sending emails if they're not going to be useful and interesting. So level 1 is the update email, just regular updates. What's going on with the company? What's going on in the tax calendar? What do you need to know as a taxpayer? You're sending it out. What does the taxpayer need to know to be on track to file taxes effectively or on time or meet all their deadlines, right? Whoever your client is, and whatever their specifics are. You can send that email once a month and around specific events, right, or specific deadlines, maybe with some slightly higher frequency. I would encourage you, though, even if you're just sending out updates, like, hey, here's what's going on with me. There's not a ton of value to the reader unless they like you personally. Just like even our families, we send out Christmas letters to everybody. We don't send monthly newsletters to the family, most of us. But if you're just sending out updates weekly, it's probably a little too much. Weird for me to even say that out of my mouth. But if you're sending updates about the company and about other things going on every other week or once a month with higher frequency around important deadlines, makes sense. It makes sense. You want to maintain top of mind awareness, and you want to prevent your clients from forgetting about you, prevent your clients from being seduced by the siren song of other tax professionals. And if you happen to have anything else going on, you want people to know about it before it's old news. So that's level 1. Level 2 is value added newsletter. This is where you want to get, at least, where you're not just sending out updates about you and updates about the calendar year and updates about tax preparation notes. But this is where you're giving people information about how to get tax, how to take advantage of tax benefits, how to do other money things that are they're valuable and relevant to them, and potentially even commenting on money topics that are happening in the news, interesting things that happen. Sometimes you see, like if a celebrity dies without an estate plan, people talk about that. So it's a good thing to do because you're maintaining a greater level of top of mind awareness, but also you're establishing your expertise. You're adding value to the lives of your subscribers, which can be previous clients and could also be people who have just signed up to get tax tips or a free booklet or what have you, but who haven't actually bought from you yet. So this value makes you interesting, shows the expertise, and helps people to remember, I don't just want, I just don't want to work with anybody when I can work with someone who is clearly an expert, clearly knows my situation, and who can clearly give me great results, great outcome, comes without any funny business. So that's level 2. Level 3 is value added plus selling. And this is where you ultimately want to be, if possible. Also, either one of these you could do once a week. Level 2 you could do once a week. as often as you can do it well. I would say less than once a week is beginning to lose impact because people forget who you are. They forget why they're interested. And so weekly is a pretty good cadence, but you can do a little bit less if you're not capable of doing it more than that. At level 3, where you're selling, same thing. Weekly is kind of the goal. Twice a week if you're if you have a lot of great content to share. But if you have if you're not capable of doing that, once a week is cool. And every other week is okay too. So in this case, you're sharing those valuable tips, sharing personal stories of your own, building up your personal brand or your firm's personal brand. Your firm's, brand, establishing expertise, but also selling additional services. If you have tax preparation services, you promoting that all year, but there's times when it makes more sense than others. If you're also doing bookkeeping or also doing additional services, or you're having events, or you're selling books, you got a course, any of these things, you can sell those every week or every time you're sending out an email. And you should have additional services probably. I mean, I'm not here to tell you how to do your business, but why not? If you write a book, have a book written for you, do courses, have events, trainings, things like that, and regularly sell, because selling is serving. You're helping people. And we all know doing tax, filing your taxes once a year is like a minimum requirement, but it's not the way to get the best outcomes in their lives. And so the way you can help is by giving them more information on how to take advantage of more things. So that's coming in the value added section of your emails, but also there are things that are premium and they should pay for it. And there's a benefit to them paying for extra information, extra assistance, and you should be selling those on a regular basis. I shouldn't say you should be. You can be. That's level 3. So that's my answer to the question. Should you be sending out a newsletter? Probably. Almost certainly. Especially if you're trying to grow and expand your revenue. How often? Once a week is kind of the goal. But less frequently if you're really not going to be able to send out a good email. Or if you're not adding any value. If you're just giving updates, you don't need to send one every week. Definitely don't need to send one more than that. So that's it for today. We'll talk about more marketing tips in future videos.